Hello everyone, and welcome to the second session in Berytech Online Meetups Social Entrepreneurship Series. I will ask our esteemed speakers to turn on your video and your microphones. Hello, Naim.
Hello, Zahi. Hello, Crystal.
Hello, how are you?
We have also with us Mona and Rabab. Hi, Rabab.
Hello.
If it's possible for you to have your Zoom background, it would be amazing.
Okay.
Hello, Zahi.
Hi, I think you can start the video now. Okay, amazing. So Rabab and Naim also, and Crystal, if you can have the Zoom background, it would be amazing. Other than that, welcome to the second session of Berytech Online Meetup Social Entrepreneurship Series. Our online meetups are powered by GIST, the Global Initiative for Science and Technology, supported by the US Department of State. So today we are discussing the role of technology in social entrepreneurship and how startups are leveraging science and technology to create positive impact for the marginalized sectors of our society. Today we have with us Crystal Khalil, Naim Zared, Mona Itani, and Rabab Kautharani. I will start a quick round of introductions with our own Crystal Khalil.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So I'm basically the director of programs in Berytech. It's been 10 years, no, almost 11 and a half years that I'm part of Berytech. And basically I manage the programs related to green and social entrepreneurship on the Euromed regional scale.
Thank you. Next we have Mona Itani.
Hello, I'm Mona Itani. I am the program lead of the Entrepreneurship Initiative at the engineering faculty at AUB. And I'm the founder of Riyada for Social Innovation, which is a social enterprise specialized in social innovation and entrepreneurship education for the youth.
Thank you. Next we have Rabab.
Hi, I'm co-founder of HETEX, the Hult Prize Lebanon 2018 startup winner, and I'm also the CFO of HETEX.
Welcome on board. Last but definitely not least, we have Naim.
Hello, Zahi. I'm Naim, the CEO and co-founder of Zima Cloud, a software for small internet service providers that enables them to manage their operations and billing and user subscriptions. And we have been part of Impact Rise program managed by Berytech.
Thank you. So to start that discussion, we will discuss a bit the recent efforts in Lebanon to promote social entrepreneurship and the efforts made to involve more startups in the efforts that are already conducted by NGOs, by policymakers, by public sector to relieve the challenges that our economy and our society faces. I will direct the first question to Mona Itani. Tell us a bit about the role that AUB has been playing, Maroon Saman Faculty of Engineering and Architecture has been playing in driving forward humanitarian efforts and sustainable operation and business models to address the various challenges that we are currently facing in 2020.
Yes, definitely. Zahi, I would say that at the beginning, when we talk about entrepreneurship, and you go look at what other universities are doing, you know, the best practices worldwide, you see that there is a certain focus on what we call commercial, high-tech, high-growth, like high-profit businesses, which is fine. I mean, we have nothing against this, of course. But when you try to contextualize this to the Lebanese culture, to the Lebanese needs, and to the needs of the region in general, you see that it's a bit out of context, meaning that you cannot just replicate or copy-paste what other universities like Stanford, UC Berkeley, and Harvard, MIT are doing in Lebanon. You have to keep in mind the current and specific challenges that we face in this society. Because when we are convincing the youth, the university students, to pursue entrepreneurship, you cannot sell them the story that they are sold in the US, for example. You have to sell them a story that makes more sense to this system. And this is where I would say there was a natural shift in our programs. And after running 1 and 2 and 3 programs, we realized that we have to tailor, to customize these best practices to fit the Lebanese context. And this is where social entrepreneurship really makes a lot of sense. Because if you ask anybody, I mean, even before 2020 or 2019, we have always had a lot of problems in Lebanon, whether environmental, social, equity issues, so many issues out there. So, and if you want to really convince students to have a lot of passion to pursue a certain idea and not go to a high paying job and work on developing their startup instead, they have to work on something that they really care about. And usually this is something that stems from their own experiences or the close people around them, problems that they really face in their communities. And this is where I believe social entrepreneurship resonates very well with them, because when they are working towards a cause that they really believe in and they have suffered from, or see someone they really love suffering from that, they have more passion, more perseverance, more tolerance to all the challenges that they're gonna face in their entrepreneurship journey. So I think it was a natural shift from the typical entrepreneurship that you find in the books to a more contextualized and social and impact-focused entrepreneurship curriculum.
That is very interesting, and to give the audience a quick background, historical background, the early institutions that ignited the entrepreneurial scene in Lebanon were AUB through the Center of Research and Innovation 10 years ago or 8 years ago, and USG through Berytech Foundation that was established for more than 16 years, I believe now. So MENA gave us a testimonial to the accumulation of knowledge and experience and iteration in the development of this scene and this entrepreneurial ecosystem. Christelle, you've been one of the oldest employees in Berytech. You've been with Berytech for about 12 years. Tell us a bit, how did the programs evolve in Berytech and the emergence of support tailor-made to startups with net positive social impact a bit, if you can tell us about this journey.
Thank you, Zahi. I've been here for 12 years, almost 11 to 12 years, but I'm not the oldest. No, just a joke aside. So basically, for me, it was the social entrepreneurship journey started since 2012. I was running an international competition to support social entrepreneurs. And throughout the years, I really started seeing the progress and the appetite to do impact. Okay, so I mean, like Mona said, so now the context that we are going through, I think the only way to think is impact. So now I look, if I want to talk about the whole social entrepreneurship journey, I would say that this ecosystem now is growing. It's being much more active, involving various stakeholders, each one on their own support level. And I would say that the social impact is being integrated across all sectors now. So now I'd rather say we're not looking anymore at social entrepreneurs as a particular segment. We are really tackling social impact across all the sectors. So for me, whether it's a startup or any existing SMEs or a corporate or an NGO, all the stakeholders, I think the necessity now is to include impact and sustainability. Okay, so this is very important. This is what basically defines social entrepreneurship. It's integrating impact and sustainability. And my latest experience in this field is with the launch of the Impact Rise program. I believe you talked about it a bit in the last session. I just want to say that it was a great opportunity for me to really witness social entrepreneurship in action and meeting 15 social impact ventures on the ground, really passionate. I would say they are very driven, all to achieve impact. Like they want to sustain and grow as a business, yes, but the impact is at the core of their value proposition, their product or their service. So again, going back to what I was saying about impact across all sectors. So basically we have ventures working in the environment field, in the technology. Now Naeem can talk more about his case in the technology for good, I would say. So how you can really leverage on technology to make it accessible to all groups of population. We had in the health sector, and I would say also it's very important to always integrate innovation, like how to integrate social impact, innovation, and sustainability. This is what will really help social entrepreneurs grow their venture and sustain them. I want to say that basically on the level of this program, now we've selected 7 ventures. They are going to have more developed support and opportunities during the next year. And I just want to say that the opportunities in the sector are really, really growing. There are a lot of new programs, new grants that will be available for social entrepreneurs in 2021, because again, it's in need, it's a necessity. So now the context that we're going through, whether, I don't know, the environmental challenges, the economy, the job creation, the women empowerment, the health sector, the education, the shift in the education and how it should be really accessible for everyone, the food security. So there are a lot of challenges, therefore a lot of opportunities to tackle in social entrepreneurship. And finally, I just want to, because our topic is basically technology, I just want to say that really leveraging now on technology to to scale the impact, to grow the ventures activity on not only on a local level, but on a regional and international level. I think technology, and we've seen it also in practice now during COVID-19, we all had to shift and adapt to this new context. It will play a big opportunity to share experiences, to replicate models, to explore collaborations. And I can see really this as a support to scale the social impact and social entrepreneurs. And I want to mention as well the role of the digital fabrication in the context of the Fab Lab facility that is available in Berytech. We've seen also during COVID-19 how digital prototyping and producing rapid and practical prototypes was effective for the COVID-19 when several devices for respiratory devices were produced in the Fab Lab. So, so just I wanted to share a few insights to say that technology plays really a beneficial role to scale and grow the impact.
Thank you. So lots of interesting context has been provided in those 2 interventions. Lots of stuff got my interest, mainly the drive of our youth and our university student and staff to merge the 2 worlds of social impact and technology entrepreneurship. We have a living example with us today, Heatex. I had the honor to work with them early on their journey as part of the first Halt Prize Accelerator in Lebanon. And we have with us Rabab to tell us more about their evolution to a more mature startup today in 2020 and where they will be going next. So Rabab, tell us a bit about where did you start from, your journey from RHU campus to kicking off and establishing your business to start selling your products in 2020. Rabab? Hello, Rabab. So I believe Rabab might be having some internet issues. We will get back to discuss a bit heat tags at a later point, and we will move to our next technology social entrepreneur, Naim. If you can tell us a bit about the business model of Zima and how you are providing access to technology to the people that need it most.
Yes. Would you like me to tell you about how it started? Maybe.
Of course.
Yeah. Actually, the project started. We wanted to solve something local here in Lebanon. A local ISP. ISP means Internet Service Provider. You know, in order to manage their operations, they need a management software. The available software have been very expensive. It was only done for it's only sold for big ISPs. So it's not accessible for the small ones. So we just developed a software, and some neighbors and friends, other ISP friends, they wanted the software. We installed it for them for free. We were just happy with the software. And then we launched a website, a simple page with a contact form. We expected receiving emails from Lebanon. We started getting calls from all over Lebanon. Then we launched this page. We started getting emails from India, Pakistan, and South Africa. We were shocked with that. We didn't expect that that those countries or this kind of software would be also needed in those countries. So since that moment, we started communicating with the community. There is a very large ISP community worldwide, and and then later on we joined the groups there are groups that do that online, and started learning more about the features that they need. There are a lot of things that they need, and we started developing them, and then after a while, we just did a complete rewrite of the whole software to be completely cloud. Because one of the problems that we're faced is that if the software is on a hardware or on a server, we installed the software on a server. The server is prone to hardware failures, and we know that all those the countries that we install our software for are in countries in developing. Most of them are in developing countries, rural areas. They have electricity cuts. They face, for example, electric surges and all that. So by moving completely to the cloud, to a completely cloud-based software, we are also solving all those problems de facto, without even needing.
You're leapfrogging all the required infrastructure that a developing country or a rural community or a poor nation doesn't have.
Yeah.
Amazing. Just inspiration.
Yes. If you want, the problem that we're solving is mostly basically. The problem that Zima is solving is when they are starting up, they need to pay, for example, from $10,000 to $20,000 in servers, in infrastructure, and in licenses for the different parts of this of software. Okay, to manage their systems. What Zima does is we have integrated all those features and those systems in one in a single system, which is Zima, that they can get completely for free. So this is actually the boost that we are giving to those ISPs. The impact that creates for those ISPs is most of the times they need already a budget to get started. Today, there are 4 billion people just that have internet. The rest of the world, almost half of the world, or 40%, are still unconnected or have very limited possibilities or very limited options for an internet connection. So
my
one of the
question
best.
to you here is, how are you balancing between remaining a profitable business, remaining a growing business, and delivering access to internet, which has become as vital as maybe access to shelter and to food in our day and age? How you are balancing between the noble cause of giving access to internet and connectivity to the poorest part of our world and remaining operational?
Yes, fortunately, there are three segments of ISPs or internet service providers. There are one of them in developed countries. For example, we have clients in the for the moment we have clients in 17 countries. Part of them is in developed countries. For example, the US, the rural USA has 20 million unconnected people or with very limited connectivity. So even the USA, that have Google, Facebook, and all those big companies, yes, they have a big portion of their population that is still struggling to with the internet connection. We have, for example, the USA, the UK, Italy, European countries, mostly in the rural areas, because there are a lot of rural areas that we underestimate. There is a lot of people still without access to a good internet connection, and everywhere in the world. It's not just here in Lebanon. So this part of the population, they can afford actually to pay for Xena services. Another part is developing countries, rural, and some of them are not very rural. And another part is NGOs, and they call them community networks. For example, in South Africa, someone that decided to connect his community, so they buy antennas and cables and start to connect their community. Some of them have like small subscription fees, or they are covered by like through a barter system, something that just keeps things going. They just want to sustain their operations. They do not want to make money out of it like the big telecom companies or government, and they do not want to depend on grants. Sometimes they have a small grant and then they keep going. So this part of ISPs is where the impact is important. And actually, we have learned that all through our communication with the ISPs. We learned that, for example, in India and South Africa, people cannot pay enough for the services. So we created country-adjusted pricing. For example, Indian people and South African people do not pay as much, even if they decide to go for the premium features. They do not pay as much as the US, the USA, or the real price of the service. So we have subsidized the cost of the service for those countries. And we have done a small formula based on the cost of internet connection in those countries. So this is one of the modes. And the other mode is the free model that we are launching. It has been scheduled to be launched by the end of this year, but probably will be launching by end of January. We're just optimizing some parts of it. It will be completely free. So there is around 80% of our features will be provided completely free, with the aim of first, we have also it is also a form of marketing for the software, and it's also because it is aligned with our mission, which is empowering small internet service providers worldwide. So if we want to really empower, we want to provide this software for free for people that are not ready to pay so far, and later when they are well established and would like to go for premium features and other extra services such as emails, SMS, notifications, all the stuff, they will be able to subscribe each based on their country. They will get their subsidies also.
Honestly, I can see it very clearly, the merging of the for-profit models and strategies and the social impact. Being an accelerator officer who work with startups closely to develop profitable business model in the agri-food and clean energy sectors. So you have been describing in a great detailed manner the merge merge of those two words. Thank you a lot, Naeem. And we have back with us Rabab. So if you can tell us a bit about HeatX and about your journey from being inspired on your university campus to reaching up the stage of a mature company.
Okay, so HeatX started by 4 engineering students who share the common interest in everything related to material science and technology in general. We came up with a very crazy idea because we were really interested about the technology that was called phase change material. This idea, we applied using this idea to the Hult Prize, and we reached the semifinals. Back then, we were really in love with the technology, so that we didn't really look for a real problem to solve using this technology. We thought that this technology is very innovative, it's very powerful, so the idea of the technology itself is what made us fall in love in it. Then we realized that this is not how things work. We need to solve a real problem, to find the pain, and use this technology to solve it. And this is when we met a girl named Farah in one of the refugee camps. Farah has lost her parents in a fire that hit the camp because they used to set fires at night in winter. And there we knew that our technology has a very great impact on these type of people and this great problem. We work in phase change material. It's a unique material that has the ability to store heat very quickly and dissipate the heat on a long manner so that you can use this heat for a longer period of time. And also the way this material dissipates heat depends on the temperature of the environment. So it will only dissipate the heat when needed. Once the room is cold or the place that this material is placed in is cold, it can dissipate this heat to heat up the room or the person who's using it. We find that Farah and everyone who's living the condition that Farah is living need this to be present in their lives. And this is when really HeatX start to evolve and be an actual competitive startup. We decided to implement this technology in pods to be added for or to be used during sleep so that it will be used for night conditioning. So it can cut on the energy consumption, the fuel consumption, and even save money upon fuel and electricity bills. In addition to that, it can save the life of a lot of people who leave their stoves on or turn campfires on at night to stay warm.
Thank you. So tell us a bit about your efforts to balance the cash flow constraints or the profitability constraints with delivering as much a positive social impact as possible.
Yeah, so there are 2 versions actually of HeatX. The version that is for the social impact that's going to be delivered for people in the refugee camps or anyone who needs the safe heating device, and the version that can be used by everyone at their homes. It's HeatX Electro that comes with electric cover that is totally safe. It stops for after 1 hour of heating the pod for safety reasons. Then the pod is ready. You can use it, put it on your bed, and sleep over it. This version is for people at their houses. Everyone can buy it. And you can check us on Instagram to know more information about it. For every HeatX that is being bought by people, there is a certain number of HeatX pods that are being, especially with the effort of NGOs that we're working with, and we're now raising partnerships with, a certain number of HeatX will be delivered to people in refugee camps and will be delivered for charity for everyone who is in need for night conditioning.
Amazing. This is just amazing. I will address the next question to Muna, but before addressing the question, I will highlight the ability of our audience to ask any question that you want to raise to any of our panelists through the chat. I'll be monitoring the chats and I will include your questions in our discussions. So Muna, we have been through a quick journey with you and Christelle about the evolvement of the entrepreneurial scene in Lebanon. And personally, I had the privilege to experience all the efforts that you are doing with Riyada in nurturing this drive for innovation and for doing a social good for our society in high school students and university students. If you can tell us a bit about all the efforts that you have been doing with Riyada and how do you expect these efforts to materialize in the next maybe 5 or 10 years once all those beneficiaries have been grown up and able to initiate their own startups?
Thank you, Zahi, for the question. So basically, I would like to say that the idea of Riyada emerged when I was still teaching at AUB and teaching really non-entrepreneurship courses. So I realized that our privileged youth, because most of the AUB students are privileged, they were like disconnected from the social problems and they weren't utilizing engineering solutions or technology for the social good. So this is why I thought, like, if you want to train them, it needs to be before they join college or university. And this is how I came up with the idea. And based on my teaching experience and my connections, I thought I'm going to put together a pilot program and address it to high school students and see how it goes from there. And this was like the start. And so far, we have done more than 20 programs, a lot of partnerships with so many different organizations. And we are proud that now we'll be launching an e-learning platform, which really addresses the current needs with COVID in order to allow the maximization of reach, I would say, for these high school students and to integrate this mindset of entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship and using technology for good in their brains very early on. So this is what we are really doing. And I believe that these people who are going to benefit from our programs are going to be ultimately the next wave of social entrepreneurs in Lebanon and in the region. And we are following up with them to be part of other programs, acceleration programs, incubation programs, mentorship. And we are witnessing that whenever this seed is being planted, they are coming back for more programs. So they are really like being attracted by this whole notion of I can make change, I can select a problem that really relates to me, I can make a difference, I can use technology to help solve it. And they are coming back, whether to Riyada for other programs or like partners or like competitors really in the market, similar initiatives out there. So it's not like one time, it's they are coming back and doing more and more. So there's a whole journey that is being created there. And we are proud to see that some of them are pursuing their ideas as a startup. Although they're young, they're still at school. We do not really expect that. It's not like our major KPI. However, it's always a plus. And at the same time, we see that they are creating a ripple effect around them. So they are really influencing other people. They are telling their friends. And yeah, it's like a whole ripple effect, which we are very proud. Again, because we believe that Lebanon and this region, I mean, we need to create these change makers. Like for me, it's about making change. And of course, it's our responsibility as millennials. It's the responsibility of maybe the older generation, the governments, but at the same time, the youth and the Gen Z now, they have responsibility too. And they cannot just nag and say, oh, like the older generation has, you know, screwed everything. No, like you have also to be proactive and take your responsibility. And we're equipping them with the needed tools and skills to do that.
I can testify to the ripple effects that we are starting to see, both in terms of volunteers and interns that apply to support Berytech, and to some of the aspiring entrepreneurs that apply to our acceleration programs. We have one question from the audience about the regulatory requirement to establishing a impact-focused or a social business. I'll address this question to Christelle, since you have been in contact with lots of social entrepreneurs.
Yes. Now, in Lebanon, we still don't have a legal status special for social entrepreneurs. So what is being done is that a for-profit entity is being created with an NGO arm usually. So, but the good news is that because this ecosystem is being much more active, because we're seeing, like Mona is saying, the rise of social entrepreneurs and the rise of creating impact. So there are a lot of entities, and Berytech was one of them also, who are basically advocating to really lobby for a legal status for social entrepreneurs. There's a lot of work that is being done, and like a definition that was presented, and it's in process. Now this takes a little bit of time. It's not in the very short term, but we're on the good track, I would say. And what would really help to really push for that is really the growth of social entrepreneurs, seeing more and more active social ventures on the ground, sustainable, growing, and not just only stopping at the community project level or the idea level, like really having the drive to pursue this venture and grow it. And the advantage here is that there are a lot of support entities that are growing also in the field, such as Riyada and Berytech and many more, to really support those entrepreneurs on the idea level, startup and the growth stage. And more we're seeing that even the investment scene and the investors are being also interested in impact. So we're going to see a lot of impact investors coming to Lebanon, to our region, really being interested also not in looking only at the profit, but also into the quantifiable social impact indicators, like being really able to say, for example, if I take the case of Berytech, we've been here for the past 18 years, 18 Saros. So we can really and happily say that we have created X number of jobs, we have supported X number of startups, helped people raise X amount of funds. So we really track our social impact by using specific indicators, and this is very important to integrate in any social venture that is being initiated.
Yes, of course, the ability to quantify the impact is key, because one of the main maybe turn-offs from the traditional entrepreneurial or business scene when it regards NGOs and social work is the lack of proper M&E or proper metrics that these efforts or endeavors employ. I want to ask a bit the entrepreneurs about your experience in terms of the added value of having the social impact. How did that facilitate forming partnerships or raising additional funds or getting access to some grants, etc.? So we can start with Naim.
How
did having the social impact component help you grow Zima better?
Yeah, actually, it has helped us raise a grant from Internet Society. The Internet Society, I'm also a member, and been member in Internet Society for 3-4 years now. What they do is they raise awareness about the internet and the different aspects of how to use the internet and the recent, all the topics, the security aspects, the GDPR, and all those. So we have a Lebanese chapter, chapter in Lebanon, and I'm a member of. What we did is we applied for a grant. They have a grant called Beyond the Net. We applied for a grant called Better Internet for Everyone, and we talked about what we're doing with Zima and the effect that how we're empowering the small ISPs and all, and the effect that it has on those internet service providers. And also, fortunately, they had the program called Empowering Community Networks, which is one of the segments that I have detailed before in the first question. So this is one of the markets that we provide our software for free. We used to provide Zima for free, so it was a win-win for everyone. And because of this social aspect of the software or what we are doing with Zima, we were able to raise the Beyond the Net to have the grant accepted, and it was really helpful. It helped us develop one of an interesting features for the product.
Amazing. So, and we have the same question. So Rabab, how did the social impact component help you in growing your business?
So first of all, it started with HULT Prize that definitely that was targeting social enterprises. It's not only the prize that we won at HULT Prize, what helped us mature and grow, it's the opportunities and the connections that HULT Prize offered to us. There we met a lot of NGOs that shared the vision that we had and believe in the cause that we were working on, like UNDP, like DAFA, like Irshad wa Islah. So we partnered with those NGOs, and we're working on other partnerships. This is what's helping us grow and reach more people that are in need for safe conditioning systems. So I believe it's the cause that you have and reaching out to people who share the same cause that you're working for is what's going to help every startup grow and reach the target faster.
Thank you. I will leave the floor for any last questions before we wrap up the session. Feel free to text us in the chat box any of your questions. And until we get any final questions, I want to have one final question of my own, which is about the message that you will send to any young or veteran entrepreneur who is looking to launch his or her own social enterprise. I will start with Christelle. What could be your words to this person?
It's your time, really. It's the time to start and grow a social venture, to think long-term, to think impact, sustainability, collaboration. So this is something that I really see among social entrepreneurs. They establish excellent partnership and they work together in a very good approach. So it's your time, and there are a lot of opportunities in this field and a lot of structures to help. So this is growing. It's really the time to do impact and grow. And I just want to say that in practice, a lot of opportunities will be launched in Q1 2021 in the context of my programs in Berytech. We are basically going to recruit ventures in the green sector with an environmental impact, in the textile innovation sector. So also we're talking about leveraging on technology and innovation, but also circular economy and impact in the water, food, energy, and on a regional scale. So stay updated with Berytech opportunities, and there's a lot coming your way. It's your time. That's my message.
So to add on this, please make sure to visit our website and our social media pages and subscribe to our newsletter to receive the latest updates on new programs and grants that could help you further your social enterprise. I will leave the floor now to our entrepreneurs, starting with Rabab. So what words would you give to such an aspiring entrepreneur? And I will add the question of one of our members about the key catalyst for your decision to be a social entrepreneur versus a regular entrepreneur or a purely commercial entrepreneur.
Okay, as an advice, I will definitely tell them to have a clear vision of the cause or the problem you want to solve, and go build a network with everyone you meet. Open doors if you didn't find doors that are open for you. Reach out for everyone, because every person that you will meet along the road will definitely teach you a lot and open a lot of opportunities for you. So network is the key for your success. And for the question, what was the catalyst for being a social entrepreneur? As I told you before, we were thrilled with the technology, and that's what was all what we saw at the beginning of our journey, until we really saw the real problem, and we realized that we can leave a great impact. Once you realize the impact that you can leave on other people's life, and realize how people really need this impact in their lives, you will automatically decide to work for a social cause, and have this social aspect attached to your business model the rest of your life.
Thank you. So the same questions for Naeem. You've talked a bit about the journey of Zima and how you kind of stumbled upon a global problem that Zima could solve. So tell us about the catalyst to focus more or make impact the core center of your strategy, and some wise words to our entrepreneurs.
Maybe it's a bit hard to give like some heavy advice, but basically I think that being a social entrepreneur has come in a natural or a progressive way. I did not choose that. I also did not choose to be an entrepreneur to start with, but maybe the feedback loop and communication with the user base. The user base, just listening to the users, to our users, we just started discovering more problems, more challenges that they are facing, and we just asked ourselves, could we answer those needs? And this is where we started working on solving those needs at first, without thinking about monetizing or making money or any of all of that. We just want to solve those problems. Can we add them to our services? Can we add those features and make them a part of one solution? If the answer is yes, so we were just adding those features and adding those services until reaching a point where we had enough features and enough functionality in the system that we can remodel or create launch again or adjust our business model to become more open, more free, in order to empower more people. So if I want to summarize that, I would say feedback loop, communication with your user base, then numbers. See where your what are the most needed features, where your users are clicking, where what are the most needed features, and then do your remodeling in order to empower the most ISPs in a social that could have a social impact. So maybe this could be my advice, if we can say.
As they say, the main or the number one killer of startups is running out of cash. And as long as you are able to modify and iterate on your business idea and business model until you reach a cash profitable business model, you will be able to deliver the impact. Other than that, you remain just another wishful and hopeful social endeavor. Last but definitely not least, we will wrap with the person who has been working most with youth and social entrepreneurs, Mona Itani. Wise words for all the people that want to start their own businesses.
Yes, sure. So I would like to say, Zahi, that basically, I mean, they do not have to directly think of a startup, directly have a plan. Really, like a lot of these social enterprises, they start very organically, very small, as a campaign maybe, or it could be a Facebook page that you start, or a group, or a WhatsApp group, anything. It could be anything that's very small. And with time, if they really put their hearts into it and take it more seriously and grow this network that it's serving, they will find out that they are naturally becoming a business, and the business model will start, emerging. Of course, they have to immerse themselves in the ecosystem. For example, I know a lot of youth are very much onto social media. Like, instead of just following celebrities and what we call influencers, I would encourage them to follow Berytech, follow Riyada for social innovation, follow, a lot of accounts, Heattex, maybe Zima, like immerse yourself and like surround yourself with like-minded people with this network. Do a lot of research. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. You do not have to start things from scratch. Like make use of what has been done before, of the best practices. It's not bad to copy sometimes something that was successful in a different context and try to adapt it to this part of the world. I think that a lot of experimentation is needed, and just do not give up like easily. And I believe that with social entrepreneurship, because it will give you the passion that you need, the success possibility is higher. So this is what I have witnessed. And because impact is part of your KPIs, you will find yourself that you're being more successful. If just like revenues and cash and numbers are on your KPI list, it might be more difficult. But once impact is also there, you will see that, oh no, I am doing progress. I am actually achieving something. And this could give you more perseverance so that you actually reach your goal.
Thank you, Mona. On that note, I want to thank all of our panelists, Kristal Khalil from Berytech, Naim Zardi from Zima, Mona Itani from Riyadh Social Entrepreneurship, and Rabab Kausarani from Heattex. I want to wish all of our attendees happy holidays, and keep an eye on Berytech Beat, our newsletter. Keep an eye on our social media platforms to know more about all of our endeavors in 2021 and to know about our next Berytech Online Meetup series in the new year. Happy holidays, everyone, and we will see you in 2021.